How do fighters cheat with their gloves for a fight? There's only two main ways. One is to mess with the wrap, the hand wrap itself, the gauze. The other way is to tamper with the glove. So let's start with the gloves. This is a fight glove. It's an 8-ounce fight glove. This is a 10-ounce fight glove. Junior welterweight, meaning 140 pounds and below, we use the 8-ounce gloves. 147 and above, they use the 10-ounce gloves. So yes, even a heavyweight, could be 100 pounds heavier than a welterweight, would use the same 10-ounce glove. All right, now you can maybe tell a little bit from these two that this 10-ounce would probably still be okayed by most commissions because it has hardly any wear and tear on it. This glove is like, no way, it's way too short. And I use these gloves to hit the heavy bag with just because I like how they feel and I like how they sound. And they're made with good leather. But here's how you would cheat with the glove. You would actually, or the trainer, somebody, would damage the inside of the glove. And it's not that hard to do, especially for fight gloves. They're not meant to be used more than a couple times, so they're not really built for durability. I use these to work out in, but I do so knowing that I'm gonna wear them out, and they will wear out faster than a designated. Okay. This is like the styrofoam. Or it's not styrofoam. This is the foam that's inside the glove. Okay, now this. Against this. This is a piece of horsehair. It's actually not my hair. It's a piece of horsehair that's also inside the glove. In any case, you can reach inside the glove here. My glove has the lining has come apart right at here where the fingers are. But you can then just pull back the lining and you can break apart the foam that's over my first two knuckles, which are right here. So if you break apart the foam in this area, the fighter's knuckles would come closer to the leather surface and make harder impact with the other person that they're fighting. Now, the problem with that is if you shred out the inside of the glove, as a fighter, now I got less protection. I only have my hand wrap, right? And it is going to cause more damage to the other person for sure. But I also risk hurting my own hand if my trainer decides I'm going to do that, or if I decide I want my trainer to do that. Okay, so that's one way to cheat with the gloves. Okay, the other way is to cheat with the hand wrap. And so I'll show you that. Okay, how to cheat with a hand wrap. I'm going to show you with actual wraps instead of gauze just because this will show up better on camera since it's not solid white. Alright, so there's two parts to a pro box wrap or even an amateur wrap. Although the amateur wrap is much, much thinner. So you have what we call the pad, and then you have the actual hand wrap. So I'll make the pad first. And you do a similar process with the gauze. So for the pad, you're just going to make literally a pad by wrapping the gauze around your fingers, trying to make it kind of an even thickness. Of course, this being an actual hand wrap is not going to be as neat as if you used gauze, but it'll serve for the purpose of demonstration. Alright, so it's just wrapping around and around like this. Okay, so you can see how you would make a similar thing with gauze. Okay, so that's the pad. Nothing too complicated, right? Now, this is where the cheating comes in, because pretty much the only way to cheat with the hand wrap is what people do is they'll get plaster of Paris. You know, if you remember like old school cast for your leg or your arm, it was like a roll of this, it was literally like a roll of gauze that was coated in plaster of Paris that had dried. And then when they wetted it, of course, turns malleable, and then you form a cast, hardens like rock hard. Okay, so if you're gonna cheat with your hand wrap, you get a little bit of that type plaster of Paris gauze that people used to use for old school casts. You get a little bit of that, and you would have to insert it. I'm pretending this piece of paper is the plaster of Paris gauze, and you'd have to insert it inside the wrap, like so. Okay, so I'm doing this just so you could see the white versus the red, but if it was white on white, that would be very hard to see. Okay, so then the next step would be just the same as if you were wrapping normally, right? So you just start your wrap job like you would normally. I mean, your trainer would be doing this in the change room. Actually, I did that wrong. Okay, now this is not going to be an actual practical wrap, but just for the purposes of demonstration, my point being now, there's no way you can see that little bit of plaster that I inserted in there, right? Because you can't even see the pad anymore if it's a proper job, which any competent trainer could do. Okay. So just for the sake of argument, to show you, that little bit of plaster is nowhere to be seen. There's no way you could see it. I didn't do the greatest job because you can see a little red poking through there, but it is what it is. Okay, so then finally, after this, you would then get the tape and tape this all up. I'm not going to go through that, but my point here is that the only opportunity to cheat on a hand wrap is on the inside. You can't cheat with this, and you can't cheat with this. Now, from the whole process, the commission is supposed to be watching. And if it's a title fight, the other person's got a representative watching you wrap your hands. So, yeah, the only place you can cheat is on the very, very, very inside. So let's go back to that. Alright, so this was my opportunity to cheat. So how am I going to do this? Well, you got to have a huge set of cojones if you're going to do this in the change room, right? Because you risk someone in there seeing you, and if it's a title fight, then you risk that other person seeing you stick plaster of Paris in here. I mean, you got to be like a bit of a magician, sleight of hand, to be able to do that in the change room. If it's not a title fight, you're likely in a change room with a bunch of other people, so you just never know who might see you doing something like that. So my point is, if you're gonna cheat with the hand wrap, you pretty much gotta walk into the change room with this plaster of Paris thing already stuck in the pad, and like walk in like, you know, gangbusters, and throw down your two pads on the table and just act like everything's cool and hope that nobody calls you on it, because technically you're not supposed to do that. Like, you're supposed to make the pad in the change room. You're not supposed to walk in with a pre-made pad for that reason. So if nobody's paying attention, maybe you get away with it. But in a title fight where the other representative is watching, there's no way that should pass. They should call you on that right away. Like, hey man, no, like you gotta make the pad right here, right now. You can't just come in here with a pre-made thing. And I believe that's where Sugar Shane Mosley's trainer called out Margarito was on this, right? And then that's where he got busted or whatever for that, for the pad. Okay, so I guess my point is this is the only way to cheat with the plaster is you'd have to already have this made. You have to walk into the change room, and if you could do it easier on a non-title fight, just because you're not being scrutinized by the opposition. The commissioner official might be busy, or he could be distracted while you're attending to your wraps. And has that happened? Yes, definitely it's happened. I mean, I know of people who've admitted to doing this. Did it make a difference in their fight? Maybe they wouldn't have gotten the KO if they hadn't done this. Is it okay? No, it's not okay. It's not morally okay, but it's definitely happened, and it'll continue to happen. So how do you not let this happen? You just got to be vigilant, and commission's officials got to be paying attention, because it's really the commission officials' job to check about the hand wraps. Again, in title fights only is when you get to send somebody else to the other change room to watch. And that's 99.9% of the time, it's only the fighter and the trainer, right? No promoter is going to give you a third ticket so you could just bring along another body. So, for example, when I've been in title fights, my trainer has sort of given away that opportunity. When the commission asks him, hey, do you want to go watch them do their hand wrap? He's just been like, no, it's okay, we trust you to do your job, because if he goes and I'm by myself in our change room and he can't wrap my hands, whatever it is. But my point is that for 99.9% of fights, you don't get to send someone to watch the other person wrap their hands. Now, people are saying stuff about Francis Ngannou taped Tyson Fury wrapping his hands. It doesn't matter if he filmed it or not, because there should be a live person from his camp watching, and there should also be the commission watching. So whether you film it or not is not a disincentive to cheat or not cheat. You know what I mean? Because you got live eyes watching you. Now, finally, some people, again, I guess just because we're bringing up Tyson Fury, there's a big, huge thing about, he put his hand only halfway into the glove and made his fist like right here, which to me is like, that's just insane talk, because after you've wrapped your hand, the commission signs off on the hand wrap before you put it in the gloves. Then they watch you put your hand in the gloves. They watch your trainer tie this all up. They watch him tape it up with tape, and it's like quite a bit of tape. It's from here to here. And then the commissioner, or the official for the commission, signs with their recognizable mark on the tape. So, in other words, so now you can't undo that. So I'm not sure how someone thinks that you could then pull your fist back from the glove, pull it out to here, and keep your fist here. It's virtually impossible once you've got your hands officially wrapped up like that. Second thing is, and this is even more important, like, why would you want your fist back here? It makes no sense. You can't throw a punch with your hand here in the glove, right here. So that's just silly talk when people say that Tyson Fury cheated by pulling his fist back. Completely nonsensical. So my point is, there's only two ways to cheat. One is to put plaster in the wrap, and the other is to pull the stuffing out of the glove at this, right where the knuckles are. risks. Okay, the risk for this is you can damage your own hand. The risk for this, I'm not sure, because I've never felt that, but I would imagine that's also, if you got a hard plaster thing on your hand and you're hitting, I would imagine that doesn't feel too good necessarily either. So I don't know how much of a risk to your own hand you take. Maybe you don't. I couldn't tell you because I haven't done it. But that's basically it. Are there a few more ways to cheat? There's a few more things that you're not supposed to do that you could get away with if no one's watching. And guess what? That's private information. If you don't know, that's because you're not a fighter and you don't need to know. And I'm not going to be the one to spill the guts on that one. So we'll just let that be insider information. But the bottom line is, look, yes, using plaster, you could probably you could do some damage for sure, and you could get that W because you impose more damage on the other person. But all the rest of these things, all the other little cheats, nah, it's not the gloves that are gonna win the fight. In the end, it's you that's in the gloves that's gotta win the fight. Does that mean I think you should be able to cheat? No, you should not. Nobody should be able to cheat with the gloves. And in the end, that responsibility falls back on the commission. They have to watch the hand wrap process from start to finish. They have to know. They have to see that the pad was made and right in front of them. And of course, for title fights, after the glove selection process has taken place, they've kept these gloves under seal. Nobody can get to them, and then the commission delivers the signed off gloves in person to the fighter on the night of the fight in the change room. So there should be zero opportunity for any tampering of the fight glove. So that's it. That's how to cheat with a fight wrap and a fight glove. Please share this video. Please comment in the comment section below. Thank you.